So I'm going to show in this video just some of the steps I went through with running this test print with the official file you guys gave me. I'm starting off by showing the process I used with just a standard piece of paper and zeroing out the scale. So I do it twice just to make sure it sets. And then I come over to the computer, and the first thing I'm going to try and do is load the file that you guys sent me. Or I'm actually showing you I have the most up-to-date version of Voxelprint. Then I'm going to try and load this file. It's not going to load when I drag and drop. It's not going to load when I do it that way. So I load the one that came with the USB thumbstick. I'm going to generate supports automatically on this. It's already on the plate. Just kind of showing off the various print settings that are going with the Voxelab standard gray. I add the test moniker to not lose the original file and the one that you guys sent me so I can print both. Set the detail up to 0.05 millimeter. And again, just go through the print settings. And yeah, so here I'm just showing that it generated. And then I'm going to load that thumb drive into the voxel print. I'm going to show that the FEP sheet is clean and clear. I'm showing that I'm using the Voxelab recommended standard gray resin, and I used the setting earlier. You can see I used the right setting for that. Pour in a fresh batch of resin. And the bottle was pre-shaken. I'll show that on the next print. And secure the FEP plate in place. I'm going to show that I'm selecting the print you guys sent me. There's the file, the one unmodified, unmessed with. Start that print. Let some time pass. I noticed it wasn't printing anything, so instead of going through the full 10-hour print, I stopped it early. And here I'm going to show that it started to print on the plate. See, it's there a little bit, but I'm going to show the FEP sheet here in a second, and you'll see that it was detached from the base and just getting pushed into some mold on the FEP sheet. You can see some of the letters stuck there, not stuck to the base. So obviously there's a problem going on there. And that makes sense. There was no supports on that. So I showed that the plate was clean and clear, washed it in some IPA. You can see a bottle of IPA on the side. I re-level that plate just to make sure there's no mistakes. I show that the FEP sheet is as clean as I can get it. And I show that I'm using the same resin once again, but this time I'm going to pour a fresh batch of resin instead of recycling what was used, just to cut down on the variables so we can know that I'm using clean resin. I refit that sheet back in place, and this time I'm going to print the one I generated. Now, this is your standard file that came with the USB flash drive, but I generated supports on this one. After some time runs, again, on this one, I noticed that nothing is printing. And I'll show that there's nothing on the plate, just some resin there. I'll clean that off later, of course. And then I'm going to dump out the resin in there and show you that, yep, this is what I get every time. Just a gray square, nothing attaching to the sheet. So yeah, hopefully you guys can tell me what's going on here, but it's not working.